Whoa.
We will call to order the Town of Franklin Town Council for February the 9th, 2026. Before we get started, tomorrow, February 10th, 171 years ago, the Town of Franklin was incorporated. So it's the 171st anniversary tomorrow. They didn't meet actually for another, I think it's about 6 months, and they took up some really important items, Chief, like they took up the fine for racing your horse down Main Street, which was to be no less than $1 and no more than $5. So keep that in mind when you go out tonight and you're doing speed enforcement. If you see horses, no more than $5. They also took up the issue of cursing on Main Street and spitting, and I think that carried the same fine. Anyway, some interesting stuff. I was reading about our founding yesterday, and another interesting fact, we were incorporated 3 separate times.
Oh.
Yeah. Once to start the town, and the second time so that there could be a vote on alcohol, and the third time, I'm not sure why. Anyway, happy birthday, Franklin, tomorrow. I want to make a couple announcements before we get started. Recognize some folks. Thank you for the TDA members for being here, and thank you for your service on TDA. We appreciate that. I want to recognize our town manager, Amie Owens, who received the Duke Citizenship Award at the Chamber Banquet last week.
Speech. Oh.
She did give a speech. Much deserved, and congratulations. Also want to, well, you may know that we went through a little bit of a crisis here with our technology after some cybersecurity issues, and I have a few thank yous. We want to thank the North Carolina Joint Cybersecurity Task Force, who came in and took over this room and got down to the business of determining what kind of attack we had, what it had affected, and what we should do to rebuild our system. Thank you to the IT department at Macon County for their assistance. They were here also almost every day. But I want to make a special thank you to one of our staff members, a staff member who must have a big closet to keep all those hats in. IT director, planning director, interim fire chief now. Justin, thank you for stepping up during that crisis. Thank you for being here 7 days a week. All those extra hours, we really appreciate it. And we have a gift for you if you'd come up. Town Council wants to present you with a card and a gift.
Yeah.
No alcohol. Close.
Don't let her drink.
Enjoy the cheer wine.
Thank you.
And also, thank you for stepping up as interim fire chief. We really appreciate that. Now, Vice Mayor Mike Lewis will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, the adoption of our agenda tonight. Do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda?
Adopt.
Motion and second. All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Motion carries. And I'll also hear a motion for the approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion?
Second.
Have a second? All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, we will have a presentation, a marketing update from our Tourism Development Authority.
Good evening. Thanks for having us tonight. I'm Tim Crabtree, the chair of the Tourism Development Authority, and I am going to introduce tonight Morgan and Devon from Stewart Communications. They are well into their second year now of handling our, is that right? Well into our second year. Doing marketing for the tourism for the town of Franklin and of course the surrounding areas. As we know, when people come to Franklin, they visit our surrounding areas as well. And so I'm going to introduce them. They're going to know the answers to any of your questions way better than I will, because they're in this every single day and they're a lot smarter than I am. So Morgan and Devon.
Thank you. So Morgan Stewart with Stewart Communications. Devon Dupuis is a team member who does a whole lot of work for us. Our idea behind this presentation was to really make sure our new board members, council members had an idea of what was going on in tourism and some of the new things that have been taking place and how we market the town of Franklin. But since we really haven't talked to the council in total, Councilman Thompson and Mayor Guffey are there at our meetings on a regular basis. Thought it would be a good time to share with you. We were going to give you the sort of the year update with elections, ice storms, it's all gotten away. So what we want to do is our agenda, we'll try to be quick because I know you have a full meeting tonight, is we want to talk to you, give you the story of how we came about, where we're going, how we're promoting Franklin and the process, and then some of the results that we've had so far. So the first piece of the agenda item, it's working now. We did an extensive amount of research to begin with. And when we were going through the process, the TDA was asking questions. We wanted to know who's coming here, why are they coming here, how do we market to them? We heard that clear. We did a bunch of research. You can see just this is a handful of some of the sources where we got information. We studied the generations, we studied the genders, we studied just education levels, why are people traveling, and what drives their decision making. What they go through a process of deciding, I want to go visit someplace, why, what are they looking for? So we dug through all of that information, presented that. In short, I'll tell you this. Number one, they're coming for the mountains. Number two, they like waterfalls, they like beautiful hiking, they want experiences, and that goes across all ages, all generations, socioeconomics, that's what they want. Franklin offers so many of those experiences that they want. It also offers what we would call, if that's your main meal, that's your entree, all of the appetizers, Franklin has it all. So that's what we discovered. We knew that already, but we wanted to put that in writing and make sure we understood it. We then decided that we should do something a little different. I don't think it had been done before. Let's talk to our stakeholders. Let's meet with the businesses who are involved in tourism, the retailers, the restaurants, the places to stay, the hotels, bed and breakfast. We went through a series of meetings to get from them sort of their SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We want to know what they thought. We presented that, and I can go through it. With time being tight, I'm not going to go through a lot of it, but I can tell you the events, the things we want to do to try to drive people to come to town, that's what they want. They want more of that. They want just to see the town being actively seeking tourists and bringing them here, which I know we're already doing, but it's, again, to confirm some of that, some of the things that we know, we learned. They'd like to see maybe Main Street open later. They like the events. These things you already know, but it was a good chance to create a relationship with the stakeholders who are working within the tourism industry in Franklin. We then, at the same time, we're conducting surveys. We got the contract July 1, 2023. July 4th, we had people spread out all over Main Street, clipboards asking tourists why you're here, how many came here, what are you looking for, where you're from. You know, by the way, 50% of our visitors are from Florida. That's going to surprise nobody. And then the rest are from all the southeast areas. And they, again, they're here for the mountains, they're here for the experiences, they love the restaurants, they love the events, they love the parades. You can't have too much of that for those folks. We created relationships with Visit Smokies, which was also called Smoky Mountain Post traditionally, which had never been created before. They had no conversations with TDA taking place. Why is that helpful? First off, they had a whole bunch of research. Again, same kind of survey information. Why are people coming here? What are they looking for? So we got to confirm a lot of the information we were already gathering. But the other part of it is that they extend our reach, they extend our budget. Their Facebook page alone has 166,000 followers. Because we have a great relationship with them now, they take our Facebook posts and they blast it out on their Facebook. So we're reaching more people than ever before, and that's because of the partnerships. In the middle of all that effort, Hurricane Helene happened. So we gave a call to Amie. Let's get together and talk about what the response is going to be, because I'm from New Orleans originally. I've been through Katrina. That town suffered in tourism for years after that, because literally people would call 5 years later and ask if they're still flooded. So with the way that Helene happened, we knew that was going to be a potential threat to businesses here. We knew that at that moment because it was right before October. It was already a threat to businesses here, so what do we do about it? As Amie and I talked, and our team started talking, we called Visit Smokies. We called in 7 counties. We all got in a room together. State Senator Corbin came out, Gillespie, and we got the New Orleans tourism folks on the phone who gave us the map for how to get past the Helene problem. So we ended up with free billboards because of those meetings. One of the things we did, though, immediately was to get our videographers and go down Main Street and go around downtown, all around downtown, not just Main Street, and talk to businesses, ask them about what they're experiencing. Are we still open? How important is it to come visit? And so we put that video series out for a series of months. So we took immediate action, couldn't just let that pass. We needed to get moving on that. So with all of the research, all of the directions set, the channels that we decided, that informed the channels for us. And the biggest one for us is our website. That's where the visitor gets the full story of Franklin. We're telling them about our businesses, we're telling them about our adventures, we're telling them all the things we can provide them. So that's where we're trying to drive people to. We want them to go to the website, they want to see all the businesses, they want to see everything there to make their decisions. The other channels in marketing, you call it the communications pie. If you want to fill the whole pie, you want to get all those channels filled. Coca-Cola, you hear them on radio, you see billboards in magazines, Facebook, they're all over the place. We're doing that right now. And so you can see those channels there. One of the things that's really important to us is making sure we have image assets. We needed to really update the visuals of Franklin. And I will tell you, one of our best photographers is sitting right back there with the badge on, and we love using him as we love when he gives us free advertising. And so that's a big piece for us. So we just wanted to show you just what it looks like. You look at these slides, this is what the Facebook pages look like, this is what our website looks like. We're telling the story of Franklin. Our belief is that the more we talk about who we are, what we have, then it leads to why you want to come here. You believe you're going to get a relationship with this town. And we know that on Facebook. If you look at our posts and you see the comments and the responses that we're seeing on a daily basis, people have a relationship with this town and they love it. So we're keeping that going with just all kind of volunteerism. There's the bottom left is one of Chief Collins' pictures, the one that's on the screen right now. We're letting them know what's going on, why you want to be here. We think it's worth it. We call this amplification of quality content. You know it as paid advertising. So we're using social media for most of our paid advertising because it's affordable and the reach is pretty undeniable. We can go other routes, but it's just not the same quality reach at this point, reaching as many people. When you choose just YouTube or newspapers, it's hugely expensive. You know, we were advertising in Atlanta or so on. So Facebook allows us to do that. And again, we're telling the story through videos, through images, stories. This is another version. The Naturalist is another great one. So just wanted to make sure you saw a good sample of what everything looks like. So let's get to the results. Since we took this over, our Facebook images, videos, advertising have reached 5.69 million people. 5.69 million views. Our website, we were going for 10,000 clicks a month. We were getting that, and now since July, we've been exceeding that to about 15,000. So that's growing, which is a very good positive for us. We have 2 billboards, which we've never had before until recently. So we have one outside of Clayton and one in Florida on highways. Well, it's actually, Tim, you're right, it's Georgia. It's on Highway 75. It's the funnel from Jacksonville, everybody in Miami coming up, everybody from Tampa coming up. And that's through a partnership with Smoky Mountain Host, so we've got a great deal on it. And so that's 400,000 views per week. When you add that up to a year, that's 4.8 million views on Franklin. And again, driving them to the website. We're in the Smoky Mountain Host Travel Guide, which reaches 50,000 people. We are on their video boards in their information center down on Georgia Road. That's 80,000 people going through there every year. So the numbers really add up. When you take it in total, it's over 12 million views of our ads. To put that in perspective, okay, you're gonna help me with the math? So the Super Bowl was last night. 125 million viewers watched it. We have 12 million views of our ads, so that's 10%. Is that right? Is that right? Math's good.
Close.
Cost $8 million. Did I do the math right? Okay. $8 million to buy an ad, to be seen by 125 million people. 10% of that is 800,000. We spent 45,000, and we've reached 10% of the Super Bowl market. I think we're doing okay there. I think what's even better is that the occupancy taxes was the second highest year on record. And according to using the TDC reports, this actually is in August, what the TDC, because we know we're not attracting people just to Franklin. We know they're all over the region. So when they're staying in a place where, say, the chamber is collecting the occupancy tax, maybe just right outside of Franklin proper, that's still that's a win for us in total. So in August, they were up year over year 25%. November, they're up year over year 25%. That's the latest number I've seen, so that's a positive. Now the county in full may be a little different number because those are different collection items, but we think we're doing okay. I will say this, and I say this unequivocally, I think our website right now is fairly competitive with our neighbors in Jackson, Haywood, and Swain County. Every single one of those counties, they are a unified voice. They have a budget that eclipses our budget, but we're producing content, material, advertising that is equal to theirs. They may have greater reach because they're spending more money, but we're getting there. And so we are a great teammate right here. We have a graphic designer, all our website folks are great people, so I think we're doing okay, and I feel pretty decent about it. Our goals for 2026, we are currently working on a print visitor guide, which the town staff will have to be able to hand out. This will be a quick lunch. I have a bunch with me to drink in my briefcase. But you've seen the visitor guides that everybody does. This is going to be a pamphlet. It's going to have all the highlights in it. We're working on that. We'll have that ready to go before the season starts. We're going to double our current Facebook followers, double our email subscriber list. One of the branding items that we're working on and think is important is affordability. And Franklin is absolutely affordable. Franklin's absolutely authentic. Everybody knows that. We're just not plastic. We're not a tourist trap. And we're proud of that. And we're approachable. You just walk down Main Street and talk to any business owner, talk to regular folks. This town is really special that I think we're going to keep talking about and promote as much as we can. And then finally, we're going to enhance the website to be more, to bring more engagement once you're on it. So we're going to let people curate their trips to Franklin and the Franklin area. We're going to let them curate their experiences here. again, that's what the big boys are doing, and that's what we're gonna do. So, hopefully that gives you a sense of where we are today. Any questions?
Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you.
I have a comment before we get into questions. This is really good work, and I appreciate, I know every member of the TDA, and I appreciate all the work that you do outside of the TDA, because you're not just business owners, but you're active in the community, and it makes a big difference here. And I also know that both Morgan and Devon go way beyond their duties, their paid duties, in terms of what they do for the town of Franklin, so thank you. Any questions from the council?
Do you have any relationship with the TDC?
We do, and I think I had that in there, hopefully we had that in there. That was, again, something that we really have been working very hard to create and build. Our chairman sits on the TDC.
Okay.
So that helps a lot. Connie sat on the TDC, our former chairperson. So that is something we work on all the time. We did work with them. I don't know if you remember when Our State magazine did a video series, partnered with them. That may have been the first time we partnered with the TDC on a major effort. So we did organize that and get that done. And it was a beautiful work, and we've taken as much advantage of it as we can. We'll continue to, because it's great video material. We partnered with them for the banners. We talk regularly. So, and I think we complement each other. But we are consistently working on that relationship.
I have a question. The way the funding is structured, was it 2/3 for the marketing and a third for other projects related to improvements or infrastructure? I know you all were in a process of thinking about some projects. Is that process still going on, or do you have projects?
It is. We've created some committees to start working on some of these separate projects. So we've talked about some potential beautification projects, some town murals, potential artwork, sculptures, things like that. Something that when a tourist comes into town, a lot of people say, well, why would you spend money on a sculpture? Well, if you think about towns you've gone to, maybe you stop with your family and you take a picture in front of that sculpture, and then you show it to all your friends and they go, well, oh, that looks really cool. Where is that? So it may not look on the surface directly like, why are you spending tourism dollars on this? But it's something when people come into town, they see these things. So if there's a mural on the side of one of the buildings downtown, like for instance, one that people take a lot of pictures of are butterfly wings. People just go stand in front of it, they take the picture. When you put on the bottom of that, Experience Franklin and see, and everybody that they share on Facebook, we're spending money on Facebook and to create the ads and the things like you've seen. But everybody knows that authentic Facebook stuff, like when I go out and I post a picture with me and my wife, and my friends see that, they go, oh man, they look like they had a really good time in that town or, wherever they are. So those things work a lot better than paid advertising. Paid advertising is really important. And Morgan and his team do a great job at making our paid advertising look like it's just a post that somebody's created, because we know those get more views, we know they get more shares. So yes, we're in the works with a committee talking about how we can do beautification projects, what can we do, what's the best use of that money. Now, our budget's limited, so, if we could get any extra money from the town budget, that'd be awesome, but we're gonna do everything we can with the money that we have to get people into Franklin. So, and the TDC also is working on that, and like Morgan said, we are trying to better that relationship so that we can maybe put some money together to create some big things. Because if someone stays in an Airbnb in Nantahala, they're probably going to drive down into Franklin for the day and check things out. So while we might not get those tourism dollars to the TDA, they're still going to come into town and they're going to shop at the stores downtown and they're going to eat at the restaurants downtown. So it's important to capitalize on those dollars.
It's a good time too if you do have projects to bring to the council that we need to partner on, it's a good time to do that as we go into budget process.
I was just gonna say, you spend money on an ad and that it's gone. You spend on something tangible and physical, that's a year after year ROI that you're getting. You'll reap benefits from it year after year after year. So something that's physical, tangible, that people want to come and see or experience or touch or be around.
And like Morgan said, we're looking at some more event type opportunities, you spend money on an ad and that's great and you get people to town. I used to tell people when we had Motor Company Grill, like I can tell the world that I have the best burger in town. If they get to town and I don't have the best burger, then they're gonna eat once and never come back. But if they come back and they have the best burger, they're gonna come back year after year after year. So if we have Pumpkin Fest and that's the best event possible for that time of year, well, not only are they going to spend money this year, but next year they're going to come and they're probably going to bring, a couple friends with them, or they're going to bring their grandparents with them, or they're going to bring, their kids' families. And so year after year, if we have those events, Picking on the Square might not be an event that people come to Franklin for, but while they're here, they find it as a fun opportunity and they go, oh, that was a really cool town. There was some free things to do and we got to have a good time.
Yeah.
So, to your point, Councilman Lewis, one of the things that really is important where the advertising does come in is it does start that relationship. They hear about us, they learn about us.
Oh, there's a place for it, no doubt.
Yeah. And I didn't really talk about media relations, but in a way that's sort of the same thing because we're working very hard to make sure that local media, not local, regional media, national media knows who we are, and we're creating those relationships, we're building those relationships, and I should have mentioned it, but we've gotten coverage in Tampa on their leading TV station, we've got coverage in Greenville and Asheville, just long stories about Ruby Drop, which I don't know when the last time that ever happened, but we're getting coverage in Charlotte, we're getting coverage in the bigger papers and regional, so that's a relationship building, and so we're doing the same thing with the tourists. It's all, the more we build that relationship, the more they come here and the longer they want to stay. Yes, ma'am.
One more. The Women's History statue, have you played that up much?
Well, it is on our agenda. It's on our website. We talk about, so one of the things we talk about on the website is cultural tourism. And so that is one of the leading items on the website.
Yeah.
So I was talking to our media relations team. Actually, I'll be in New Orleans next week and meeting with them as well. We've had a long conversation with them, some conference calls, and they jumped on that a year ago. They saw that as a great opportunity. It differentiates us from our competitors, our neighbors, and it's got a great possibility for the town to bring some attention. We probably need to do some work for make an event about it, maybe some way to enhance just the statue's beautiful, the spots around town, but work on some enhancements there. But absolutely, we think it's really one of the leading possibilities for media, certainly for media coverage.
Well, there's nothing like it in the state, period.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm surprised that UNC TV hadn't really picked up on that more than what they have a year later.
So we'll put them on the list and make sure they know they should be out here.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you.
One thing that I'll say is I'm happy to hear it, and I'm not surprised to hear it when people say that the mountains are the major reason that they're here. We've been saying, some of us have been saying for years, that when you talk about the land that's publicly owned, the Forest Service land, when you talk about floodplain issues, when you talk about farmland preservation, when you talk about water quality and conservation, those are not, I don't think they're primarily environmental issues, they're economic issues in a place like this. And it's good to see that we're finally coming to that recognition that it's not the environment over here and business over here. In a place like Macon County, those go hand in hand. So good to hear that.
Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that the decision to get the Naguasi Mound back to the eastern band of the Cherokee tribe is also, I think, very important and a very good opportunity for us. I'm sure you've seen all the media coverage. If not, I'm happy to send you the links that I've found. But on the Washington Post, and you're getting national coverage for that decision, that's very important, I think, for our cultural tourism message. And so that's something else we'll be talking about.
I'd love to see those links.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate your work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I told you it was a thing to do, Rita.
I know it was the thing to do. I had to fight tooth and nail and get you to do it.
So this is the public session portion of our meeting. We don't have anyone signed up for public comment, so we will move into items from the council. I'm going to start by saying another thank you. The town of Franklin this weekend received a check and notification that we're the recipient of a grant for more than $4 million for our Clearwell project at our water treatment plant. That project will give us more capacity, means that we'll be more resilient in things like drought events in the future. We're really grateful to Amie for bulldogging that. I think I first heard talk about that, 2 years ago? 3 years ago? And without Amie's persistence, I don't think we would have received the money. The money's primarily EPA money for resiliency. Thank you to Bill and Kyle for your work on the ground. Lay the groundwork for the funding. We really appreciate it. I wanted to remind you all that the hearing for the historic designation for downtown Franklin is on Thursday. I'm going to drive down to be there to make sure that we have some representation and look at folks in the eye while they make the decision. Speaking of the Naquasi Mound or Nopishigi, I got word today that there will be a deed signing fairly soon. There's been some back and forth about some of the language, but that should happen fairly soon. All right. Mr. Berry, items from the council. Mr. Tompa.
Yeah, I'd like to just segue off of what Morgan presented in the TDA. I think it's important to notice too that they started this back in 2024 with zero. We had to restart the website, restart the social media, restart the email list. So all of that is built upon just what these members and employees have done together, and it's really cool to see 15,000 people hitting the website every month and clicking on it. The millions of people that have been exposed to Franklin through the current efforts, so I just want to say thank you for that. The TDA, TDC, and Chamber, I believe those relationships are continuing to improve. Communication is existent, so that's a start. Being able to pick up the phone and talk, and we all understand where we're at, and being able to start working on projects together. I'm really proud of some of the work we're getting done there. The Franklin Downtown Merchants Association, I attended one of their recent meetings. It's awesome to see these merchants getting together and wanting to do something better for themselves and better for this town. So that's just a benefit to the TDA, us as town council. It's for the people of Franklin. So keep up the good work there and just let us know how we can assist. And then just Amie, for the ABC, I'm excited for the relationship and the communication we've had there. I would just like to follow up on the building update for the two or three options that we discussed.
Mr. Lewis.
I've talked enough already.
You sure? Because Mr. Collins wants to get out of here early. You sure you don't have anything to talk about?
I don't.
Miss Selene.
I wanted to also thank Amie and everybody for the work to get that $4.2 million for the Clearwell. I mean, that will help every taxpayer in Franklin, and I'm grateful for that. That's big. And also, we've had some improvements, lots of improvements, beautification improvements on Main Street, and there was something recently that got done that I was very glad to see with some of our flowers that were not real flowers getting cleaned up, and that's a good thing. And I've got another good thing. At the end of the street, where, on this side, that thing, that shed-like thing that holds those boxes that have nothing in them 90% of the time, and trash on the street, I'd like for us to get rid of that. I don't think it serves a purpose, and I think it would make our beautiful town even more beautiful not to have that box there, or that shed-like thing with those empty boxes. So I'd like to propose that we get rid of that. I did speak with Janet Jacobs Green today, and she said it was not hers, it belonged to the town, and that she would be very glad, she'd be happy for that to get gone.
If I remember right, we can certainly double check it because there's no guarantee of that, but the idea was to have a centralized place for paper distributions. And now I don't know if there is any interest in having boxes again all up and down Main Street, but that was the idea, is not to have a ton of them all over the place. It was, if you got real estate guides or, the Franklin Press or whatever, you'd have it right there. But it's not required to have it there. But it's a way to say, take all this speech and put it in one place.
Yeah, Janet sort of remembered it that way too, but there's not much of anything in there, and a lot of it's on the ground when it's there. So, most of those boxes are empty, and that's been my observation. And I see head nodding, so I think that's other people's observation. It was a good idea when people did all that stuff in paper to have it glommed together. So that's it.
Mr. Higdon.
Not today.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Mr. Collins.
Oh, come on, Joe.
All right. There is a lot of talk and a lot of need in town for outdoor dining, so I'm happy that this item's back in front of us again. We will now open a public hearing to take public input on a proposed lease of town-owned property located at 95 East Main Street for the purpose of outdoor dining area, and I will turn it over to Amie.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If you'll remember, Root and Barrel Kitchen that used to be next door, which is now JR Top House, originally had a lease with the town for 3 years for that same purpose. Unfortunately, nothing ever came of that. It does have new ownership now, and they actually reached out to me specifically about outdoor dining. It will be essentially a mirrored lease to what we had before. It's a 15-foot by 40-foot portion of land. John has reviewed everything. It is what it is. It's got a $300 a year escalator in it. In speaking with the other party, they just wanted to make sure things were going to move forward, and then they'll be in communications with us with design, permits, everything that's required to move forward. They just wanted to make sure that the council was supportive of this potential lease.
Great. In terms of technicalities, no one signed up to speak. Do we need to open and close the hearing?
I think you verbally opened it. You just need to, I guess, ask and make sure that you're here to speak to it, just for the minutes.
Okay. No one signed up. Does anyone want to speak to this item? And
Silence is deafening.
the owners weren't going to join us tonight?
They had a conflict, but they were okay with the presentation the way that it was discussed.
I wouldn't have turned down a steak.
Right, yeah. Yeah. All right, well, we'll close the hearing and we'll open it up for discussion or a motion related to the item.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Hope it gets done.
All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we'll move on to new business. We have a request for formal approval of town council to waive all late fees in January and February of 2026 utility billing due to the system failure. And we'll call on our finance director.
Thank you, Mayor. So you guys are all aware, because I'm sure you all have water bills, our utility bills are due on the 15th of the month. Our system outage began early morning on the 14th of January, and it continued until around the 1st of February. And even at that time, once the system came back up, portions were coming up one at a time, so we weren't fully functional immediately. So because of that, we would like to grant January bills and February bills with no penalties for late payments, just because of the confusion and the trouble with making payments. We had a lot of residents reaching out trying to make payments during that time, and we just weren't able to accept them. So we just wanted to bring that to you guys and ask that you formally give us permission to waive those late fees, and we are back and up and running, and all of the pieces are back together for the most part, so March should not be an issue.
I'll make that motion.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
The next item is the request for approval of street closures, and we have a few, Madam Manager.
Yes, we have, as you'll recall, back in 2025, Town Council moved to quarterly approval for street closures to make it a little more palatable and easier for us to go through. What you have in front of you is 6 different street closures. I will just cover these briefly, and then I would assume that we can just do one motion to approve all of these. The first one is for use of the Town Hall parking lot for the Macon County Farmers Market, May the 1st through November 30th, from 7 a.m. until 4 p.m., except on days where the town may need it for other events. The next one is Iowa Street for the 2nd and 4th Saturdays from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., May through October 10th, and that's for the town's picking on the square. The next one is on Friday, May the 15th from 11:30 to 1 for Law Enforcement Memorial Day observance. The next one is Friday, September 11th from 8:30 until 9 a.m. for the 9/11 remembrance. The next one is Thursday, September 17th from 5:30 until 8 for the Constitution Day celebration, and there will be some activities involved with that, so stay tuned for some of that information. And then the last one is on Tuesday, October the 13th from 11:30 until 1 for the firefighters memorial.
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we will move on to our departmental updates. We'll be hearing tonight from Public Works, and we'll start with Bill Deal, the big deal.
The real deal.
Thank you, Mayor, Town Council. I want to start with one of the most pressing things we've had recently. We were able to miss Hurricane Helene. We were able to miss the ice storm. We were not able to miss the last snowstorm. So we spent a lot of time behind the scenes working to get prepared for this, and I'll let Chris talk a little bit about that. But, you know, our first goal in removing snow is not for residents to move out and about, which sounds good. We want people to get out and move out and about. But our first goal is to make sure that law enforcement, EMS, police can get to where they need to go. So we tried to make that as quickly as we could. As we know, the day got colder, we were able to push the snow early, get a lot of it gone, and it helped us tremendously by starting early. So the street crew guys, a couple of my public works crew guys came in, did a fantastic job, and I want to give them credit for that. And also with this last cold event, we had no major events. And what I mean by that is we didn't have no major main breaks, knock on wood, right? Most of our issues were residential in nature. People's water froze headed into their house or near their house or one blew loose. So we, luckily, those were pretty easily handled and was thankful for that. Hopefully most people read the article in the paper and kind of took notice for that. Because we did have a few cold days, if you guys can remember, not too long ago. And we were very fortunate with that. I'm going to start now with the water distribution main project that we've got going on over on Siler Road and Berry Boulevard. Contractors have been away off-site due to weather and concerns of inclement weather, and they are probably about 70% complete on that project. They've got to do the bore under Siler Road and down Mountain Road, and that should be taking place within the next couple of weeks. So they're moving right along on that project, just kind of been staying still due to the weather. Capital improvement projects, Public Works crew installed the new skid system up at Upper Brookwood Pump Station, and we did that on January 21st, 2026. So that was a capital improvement project that you guys had voted for, put in, and it is now in system and is working. And it went very, very smooth. We had to let people know that they were going to be without water. They were happy with us that we got it turned back on within 4 hours and not 8. So my crew knocked that out and they did a fantastic job with that. And also the generator and transfer switch at Prentice Bridge is being completed. Generator and transfer switch are installed and waiting on Tacoma Natural Gas to hook up the natural gas. So as you guys will see moving forward, we're trying to get as many generators on natural gas as we can. Unlimited supply of gas. We don't have to go put diesel in it. We don't have to worry about propane. So in times of hurricanes, inclement weather, these things need to run. As long as Tacoma Natural Gas is pumping gas, we're going to be able to operate. And that's a good thing for the citizens of Franklin to know that their systems are still running and operating like they should.
Cleaner too.
Yes, it is cleaner. And also, we are looking into ideas and areas of concern for our fire hydrant CIP. We have 3 outdated fire hydrants on Town Mountain that are scheduled for replacement. So those have been in the system for a little while and they need to be taken out of service and new ones put into service. So we're also looking at other ideas for, to help the fire department out with their ratings for fire service. So we've got some ideas coming through. You guys will be seeing some of those hopefully soon, but trying to make progress all around. Not only update fire hydrants, but also make it more efficient for the fire department to get better scores. Also, in the proactive items, you guys know that we had a CCTV done of East Main Street sewer. We kind of been put on the back burner for that a little bit, just due to the weather and stuff, but it was done in December, and I am expecting a final report will be available soon. Got to have a meeting with town manager and discuss a few things, but overall, I think you guys will be pleased with the outcome of that. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but it looks like it's going to be in our favor. So also, Public Works assisted the street crew in removing snow and ice from Main Street and the parking spaces and the sidewalks. So they did a fantastic job of coming there, got that knocked out by 10 o'clock Monday morning. So they did a fantastic job on that. So also, we are collecting information now for our local water supply plan. And you guys may be familiar with the local water supply plan, but that helps us know what our percentage water loss is. So with everything we're doing with meter changing, meter reading, meter billing, we have to be within a certain percentage of water loss. So we've been, with your help, doing a great job of installing new meters. New meters read more accurate. So that helps our percentage. So I've got Kyle and Jason working on our numbers now. Rusty will compile the information and then we'll have it ready to go by April 1st. So that's just a quick rundown as I'm sitting here this morning trying to get a thing together. I'm like, I don't have too much. Well, then I sat back there and wrote 4 more things. So in this job, I've come to find out it's very fluid. You better be ready to move from here to there really quickly. And it's a challenging job, but it's enjoyable. And like I said, I'll be on the phone 1 minute and the phone will ring again, and we're going somewhere else. So I have to give credit to my guys. I had a guy stay one night because he couldn't get home on Warren Creek. He spent the night at the shop. He was on call, he stayed there, and you've got guys that are devoted to this place, and they love it, and they love working for the town of Franklin. So for that, I'll leave it right there, and I'll pass it on unless you guys got any questions for me.
Thank you for your hard work, and thank you for the work on Main Street. Did have a complaint from one of our shop owners that the sun never shines on this other side of Main Street, so.
Can you do something about that?
Yeah, if you could work on that.
I put in a request upstairs, but I don't know what else I can do for that.
Bill, I will tell you, we got a compliment for you guys from one of our friends that works at a business down Main Street, and they were actually going to buy coffee for everyone Tuesday morning to have ready for you when you got there,
Yeah.
and we told them you guys were already done, so
Oh, gotcha.
we did have that offer if we'd have let them know.
Nice. Any other questions?
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from our wastewater treatment plant supervisor, Mr. Jason Hopkins.
I do not have a lot. It's been a quiet winter, which in wastewater will take every time. Winter time is the hardest time to run a wastewater plant. The bugs are like us. They don't like it when it gets cold. I do want to thank Public Works for their hard work, even though they did ruin my daughter and I's sledding that morning. Thank you, though. Congratulations to the new council members and the mayor.
Thank you.
Like I said, I really don't have much. We've had a lot of little things happening, and we take care of them in-house and try to save the taxpayers some money. So if there's any questions or anything, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Where was your sledding spot?
On Panorama off Baird Cove. I yelled at my daughter as she's going downhill. I'm like, hit the ditch, because I heard the dump truck coming around. So she listened and hit the ditch. So
Maybe we should think about having a streets program where we have designated sledding areas.
Yeah.
All the places are kind of getting used up anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
You'd
fun.
be surprised how many people were sledding in the roads.
Yeah, it's back down.
Always has been.
Yeah.
Any questions from Mr. Hopkins?
Thank you.
Jason.
All right.
Hospital Hill used to be the spot.
Yeah. Next up, our water treatment plant supervisor,
Well, the second
Mr. Kyle
hole of the
Pocat.
golf course.
Okay.
I always say so.
Oh, yeah.
We could pour snow on Frogtown.
There you go.
I've sledded down Frogtown before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Water plant business is blowing its normal. We have been using a lot more water than we do every time this time of year. This year's a little more than I've ever seen. We've had a few days, 1.8 million gallons a day, and we are only 2 million gallon a day plant. We have been remodeling one bathroom, completely done, demolishing another one, ready for tile and shower to be redone, so we can actually have an average size shower. I can't take a shower in it, and I think only one person at the plant could. He's about 4 foot tall. So we have installed a new PLC on our air burst system for our intake screens, give us a little bit more control of when they go off, so the operators don't have to go down there and manually do it all the time, especially in bad weather. We have officially broke ground on construction, and they hit the ground running. The building for the high service pumps are cut to grade. They're basically waiting for a retaining wall to be done, hopefully by the end of this week. Then concrete will start. Which other than that, we're good. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, we've only had one backflow related incident, or was freezing, and that really wasn't the backflow itself, it was something on the customer side.
What's the reason for the amount of water usage that seems high?
During the winter time, people trip their faucets. That really doesn't. A lot. We use more water in the wintertime than we do in the summer.
I'm probably gonna have to take out a second mortgage on my house to pay my bill because I had to leave it like that for a week and a half. My house is 60 years old, so I don't take any chances on that. So
I was very surprised, really, since the pandemic, we really started seeing people use water a lot during the winter. A lot.
About $1 million of that is probably coming from my building according to my water bill. I've looked all over that building for a leak. We've looked outside for a leak. I don't know.
It's just,
Anyway, once we find it, you can look for the numbers to go down.
Oh, good. I'll be happy. But if any of you guys ever want to come out to the plant and see what the plant is and where it's going, you're always more than welcome. I know some of you have been there. I encourage you to see what it's doing. Any questions?
Thank you. All right, next is our street supervisor, Mr. Chris Waldrew.
Shall we give him a round of applause?
Mr. Mayor, Council, thank you all for having us. First thing off the bat is I want to piggyback on Bill and thank the Public Works and my guys in the streets that came in for the inclement weather event. The snow, it's pretty, it's nice to look at, it is a bear to work in. So, you know, I always keep that in mind before you get out and you start sledding and you start driving and look at it. Give us time to get out there and get the roads cleared, make it safe for visitors, for people that are traveling, for our public safety people to get out, because that's our main concern. Can they get out and get where they need to get to? So yeah, a lot of people from Public Works came in that Tuesday morning, got Main Street cleared up, had 3 or 4 guys come in Saturday morning to help us plow and spread salt. So big thank you to them, because it would be, it's a treacherous task and it's a long task, but you do it right, try to be proactive, be ready, and then just be reactive when it happens. So big thank you to Public Works for them. Black and Home Construction got started mid-January on our bathroom project up at Sunnyside Park. Did a lot of site work, silt fence work, things like that. Then we get into bad weather, and so now they're looking to come back next week and continue on with some of that. So hopefully the weather takes a little turn, we can get some progress made there. We will be, in case we get questions, we will be pulling the winter snowflakes off of the poles towards the end of this month. That may be a sign that winter's out of here. We'll get those stored away, and then we'll gear up for that the next time. So that's when that'll go away, then that will transition us into spring and summer banner project, which we'll get new. We've got the new banners, we had them in, so we'll get all those put up for spring and summer. Into March, 1st of April, sometime around that time, kind of. Don't want to go too early because it don't be spring. So that'll work there. I'm still working on vendors for our roundabout plant material planting project.
Oh, good.
Still working on that, trying to gather vendors. It's a extensive list with the quantities. What can we get? Can we get enough of this type? Can we get the right size that we want of this type? So just working with vendors to get what we want to make the most impact out of what the design has for it.
Yeah. Great.
You know, it's summer and spring's gonna be here before we know it, so I know we try to take advantage of the cold weather. I thought it would be, it's downtime. No, it's not downtime. Not downtime. Always planning going on and everything like that. So, lots of things happening. We're looking at adding an employee in the next couple of weeks, set up some interviews, get some more hands in here, and that'll be a big help as we move into springtime.
Great.
Questions?
Any idea on an opening date for Sunnyside?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Trying to coordinate the pour-in-play surface with the playground, kind of see where those two projects, if they line up. So we'd hate to put something out right now and not know exactly where that's going to be.
Okay.
And I will say the pour-in-place surface that has to be poured, temperatures have to be for 2 solid weeks within a certain range. And then you have to keep everybody off of it for 2 weeks. Even though we have some caution fencing up there, we still have people trying to play on the playground.
Oh.
So
No damage, nothing like that, just people curious and intrigued, it looks finished, but it's not, so we do, 3-4 times a week, and the police have done an excellent job with their surveillance in the area, we do 3 or 4 checks a week, no damage, just people that are curious, and they say, no, not ready yet, you gotta just shoo them away, and they're pretty compliant with that.
Other questions?
No, I've said it before, I'll say it again, people complain about the snowflakes, but yet they'll drive to Gatlinburg in the middle of April and talk about how pretty all those winter lights are over there.
Well, thank you for doing all the street work and all the work.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, our next town council meeting is Monday, March the 2nd. We have a rescheduled special called meeting, our town council retreat, Friday, February the 20th, and Saturday, February 21st at the Fontana Village Resort, and our special meeting notice will be posted. With that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
You hear it.
Motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Wow.
I can watch Wheel of Fortune.
That is an